reconvened meeting today. As we promised you a few days ago after we had the initial meeting with the labor movement, we said we were going to reconvene today to keep the engagement on in order to diffuse the tension in the land as a result of the withdrawal of subsidy, which is a reality. Now, we are very happy to announce to Nigerians that this engagement has been very productive. The TUC that attended today's meeting presented a list of demands, and those demands we have studied and we are going to present to Mr. President for his consideration. But those demands, we can announce to Nigerians that a lot of the items on the list are not impracticable. What we need to do is to study the numbers very well, and then we have asked the TUC to also give us a leeway to consult very exhaustively and come back on Tuesday, reconvene on Tuesday to actually look at the numbers, the viability, practicability of all the items that have been presented to us. Now, most important, top priority on the list, which the government is also looking at very seriously, and the president has announced before, is the issue of the minimum wage, which the labor movement has demanded as a consequence of these removal of the consequential impact of the removal of subsidy. So government is looking at that, and Mr. President is most likely going to constitute a tripartite committee. That is the committee of federal government and including the states, then the organized labor on the other part, and the private sector. Now, this is a tripartite arrangement. It will be a committee that will study all the dynamics of a wage increase, the percentages, the numbers, and the categories that will be affected. So by Tuesday, when we come back to reconvene and meet with the TUC again, the labor movement, we should have very concrete items to present to the world. But the most important thing for today is that we are making appreciable progress with the labor. Thank you very much.
What are the other demands beyond?
Yes, gentlemen of the press. Gentlemen of the press, as you could recall, that we were all here on Wednesday last week, and after the meeting of Wednesday, government gave us their position and told us the reason why they did what they did. So on our part, government told us the reasons why they did what they did, but on our part, we did not agree with them. So they presented some of the things to us that they consider as palliatives. So that with those items that they presented to us, that we should consider them in the meeting. But we told them no, that we cannot consider them in that meeting, that we are going back to call our respective organs. So we went back, we called the NEC of Trade Union Congress of Nigeria on Friday. And during the NEC meeting, the NEC of TUC decided that because we already told government as at Wednesday that we are taking their demand back, we want to go and look at them. Then, because they asked us what was our demand, we said we didn't have the mandate to discuss the demand as at then. So we went back, we called our meeting on Friday, we had extensive deliberation, and our NEC now mandated us with some list of demands to come and meet with the government side today. So the meeting we just concluded. We have detailed and marshaled out a list of our demands to them. So they also in turn told us that when they presented the items to us on Wednesday, we told them that we're going back to our principals. So that they also need to touch base with Mr. President so that we will convene this meeting again on Tuesday. So we've, and topmost in our demand was clearly stated as well that for utmost good faith and in the interest of social dialogue, that they should revert back the pump rights while discussion continues.
All right, we realize NLC was not in that meeting. Are you having the talk from this NLC? Are you aware why they're not here?
I know, you know, because when you call an organ meeting, an organ takes a life of its own. So the decision of your organ is what you are expected to implement. So all of us staying here today, we are agents of NEC of TUC. So the NEC of TUC took a decision, and that decision is what we are trying to push through.
Are you satisfied with discussions so far reached?
Yes, we have presented the list of our demands to them, and they received it in good faith that they will go back to their principal and come back to us on Tuesday. So we are hopeful that the demand that we have presented would it will be reviewed in the best interest of Nigerian workers and the entire Nigerian masses. Yes, the demands are so long, there are so many. Yeah, there are so many. Part of it was the demand for a minimum wage, and we stated that for us it is quite apt that the minimum wage today is not a living wage, as we all know. The value of the minimum wage is what has been negotiated, has plummeted to a very abysmal level as it is today. So we demanded. Yes, because they are going back to Mr. President. So we also think that we should give them that benefit of doubt. Because the things we presented to them the last time, they did also reveal it before the press. So it is also quite apt for them to go back. Maybe when we meet on Tuesday, we can dissect them one after the other, be much more specific.
Is anyone divided? Last meeting you had with the government, you were here with the NLC. So
I think I've answered that question. That when you have NEC meetings, so the NEC take a decision that the leadership are bound to implement. So we were holding the meetings almost simultaneously. So the NEC of TUC gave us the mandate. That is why we are here today. If, for example, if it was just the leadership alone that comes together and have a conversation, maybe it will be a bit different. But because it was a NEC, it's an organ, one of the highest decision-making body outside the delegate conference of the center. So they took a decision, and that is what we are trying to see.
Don't you think that DUC and NLC are not
But it's your function as press. It's your function as press to also help us educate Nigerians, to make them understand that when you call organ meetings, that the decision of the organ is what the leadership are bound to push through and to implement. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Just stay at the side.
It's okay, it's okay.